Stewart Media and Entertainment presents the Two Live Stews Experience. We back, show. This right here, this ain't your ordinary ish.
Two Live Stews Experience, Ryan Stewart, Doug Stewart, baby, we back. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yes, we are back. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you, but them folks sat us down forcefully. What up to the Qs?
Do not let anyone confuse you. The Two Live Stews started this shit. The Two Live Stews Experience, shouty. If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing?
And just like that, we're back.
Yeah.
What up, though?
What up, though? Like we in Detroit.
Everything is wonderful, man. How are you?
It's fantastic. So we definitely got to work on this. That's really bothered me that we're at different levels, different heights or whatever. But we good. We need to fix that.
Do you have that block, that booster that we gave you to sit on when it's time to do the show? It's about. I mean, if you would sit on the booster, you'd be so too damn proud.
You went back on that one.
If you sit on that booster, we'll be at this. We'll be the same height.
Now, first of all, shouts out to everybody in the chat room, man. This chat is great. It's kind of this reminiscent of the Doug Stewart show.
That cat sitting in his chair, his feet moving like this right now. He kicking his feet.
But listen, I'm going to take you back real quick, and we got a lot to get into. We're going to go over the itinerary, what we're going to talk about. SC shouts out to Southern Edge. We're going to do all of that stuff, right? But do you remember when we were very young and getting haircuts from the barbershop in Monk's Corner, Mackey's Barbershop?
Yep.
Shouts out to Mackey. He's still
Shouts out Mackey.
He's still cutting hair.
Mr. Levi Green, rest in peace. Yep.
Yeah. So when you were a small kid, they had you sitting on like one of those little toy horses, like when you were like a baby.
Yeah.
But then when you got a little bit older and you were a little bit taller, Mackey used to put down a Coca-Cola crate, and we used to sit on the Coca-Cola crate.
Yep.
And you knew you were a man when they didn't need that Coca-Cola crate no more.
You had to
get
sit
your
on
hair
nothing.
cut. Do you remember that, sir?
I do remember that, man. I mean, it was like a rites of passage.
Right.
The first time you were in that chair and Mackey called your name and you walked up there and he didn't put nothing in the chair. Oh man, yeah, you feel like a real big dog, man.
Yeah, people from Moco will relate to that. Shouts out to everybody in the chat room. Deacon Dell, Sports and Heels, Microwave, Chief Rocker.
I got to do something really, really quick, man. And
Go ahead.
And
I got two things I need to do too.
Okay. Yeah. We should have done this the last show we did a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know what was going to be posted until Tree decided to post it. So,
right.
And shouts out to Tree Taylor, executive producer of the Two Live Stews, the Two Live Stews Experience.
She's like an unbridled horse, man. I mean,
she's a beast, man. She's great at what she does, though.
Yeah.
Real quick, man, we have to give a huge shout out and a rest in peace to the Bug Man. Oh, everybody has been calling and texting and chatting, and so happy that we're back, man. And the dogs and poodles have been communicating, and everyone that I've spoken to a man has said, "Hey, man, the next show y'all do, can y'all please mention the Bug Man?" So rest in peace, Bug Man.
Yeah, so Bug Man, Tyrone the Bug Man was one of our faithful listeners from like day one. And craziest shit ever, man. He passed away this summer. Like, crazy, just like, I don't know if there was anything going on behind the scenes health-wise with him, man, but it was a shock to everybody. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yep. So y'all keep his family lifted in prayer, man.
Yeah.
A lot to go over today, man. You said you got two stories. I want to get to these sports. I want to get to these topics. I want to get to the Grammys. I want to get to all of it, man. Halftime show. What you said you got two things, man. What's number one?
Well, two things. One, thank you and shouts out to everybody, man, that's showing us love on this show. We need to get that applause sound effects. We definitely gonna get that.
Yep.
I mean, even from like week one, doing the show back in 2001. We got a lot of people that's down with us like Four Flat Tires. Delta Mu Mu, the grad chapter accused that I'm part of here in Atlanta.
The North Fulton accused.
Yeah, we had a party Friday night. All, 50 and 60-year-olds getting our group on.
Right.
And so many bros came up to me and dapped me up, man. I'm glad to see y'all boys back. And I mean,
it's been
so
crazy.
Many emails, texts, and everything, man.
Yeah.
Shouts out to everybody that's excited about the return of the Two Live Stews.
Lambda Iota chapter here in Columbus and the Delta Nu chapter hosted a prayer breakfast for Black History Month. The pastor that came from Atlanta during his pastoring while he was preaching mentions the Two Live Stew in his sermon.
Wow.
And afterwards, I walked up to him like, Rev, dap him up, bro, good to see you. Bro, I wasn't expecting. I mean, bro, did you write that in there, bro? He's like, well, bro, I don't write down anything. It's all off the top of my head. I don't write down anything. But the Lord moved me to say that about you guys because I'm very proud that you're back. And on your first show, you mentioned how God is good, even though you were gone for the last 12 years. You mentioned how God sat you down because you needed to be sat down. And I was just proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all being back. I was proud of the message. So it's been an overwhelming response for sure, man. So thank you all.
Yeah, definitely thank you. And the second thing I wanted to mention, man, is I don't know how to say this humbly.
Don't.
Huh?
Then don't. Then just don't. Then
yeah,
don't do it.
I mean, but this is on my heart, and right. I need to say this.
Well, okay? But typically when something's on your heart and you're going to say it, we talk about it in the pre-show meeting.
The spirit just moved me. The spirit just moved me. I don't think
you should do this.
No, I was going to talk about this, but just now it hit me like the spirit moved me to say this in this type of way.
Okay.
We created this shit, man.
No,
listen, don't stop me. Don't stop me. No, don't stop me. Don't stop me. Okay? Part of the reason, the people need to know. The people need to know.
But Doug,
people need to know.
But Doug, wait a minute.
No.
That is beyond using the Lord's name in vain. You just said the Spirit moved me to say something, and then you go and say that. I mean,
I gotta keep it real, man. I feel like Little Richard sometimes. Like, we invented rock and roll. We invented this format, this platform, man. I know I sound like I'm talking a lot of trash, a lot of ish, but I'm looking at all these podcasts and all these shows, and nothing against them.
Nope.
Nothing against them, and bless their heart.
Happy for all of them.
But we started sports talk, barbershop sports talk, guy talk, hot sauce with a sports talk with hot sauce. All of this stuff, man. We started this 20-something years ago.
I'll never mention.
Give us our flowers. I want my flowers now. I don't want to be dead and you try to give me some flowers. Give me my flowers now.
I will never mention the numbers of the station that we were on previously. That will never come out on the Two Live Stews experience, okay? But when we started, okay, a month or two in, I noticed that the regular programming that they had always had started changing what they were doing. It became less X's and O's, less box scores. It became less stat driven, and it became more of a conversation piece between all of the guys that were on the microphone in the room at the same time. It wasn't being done like that before us. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't like the way you said it, but you're right.
No, I just feel like I want the flowers now. Damn, when I'm gone. He was a great guy. They started sports talk radio. They started urban sports talk, guy talk radio. No, just send me a couple of dollars.
Right.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like we need it.
Yep.
We need a little bit. I mean, because all of these cats, and man, a lot of these cats is killing it. And I don't want to mention names. Everybody knows who they are because every time you turn on TikTok, you're listening and watching the Two Live Stews. Every time you turn on TikTok or Instagram or things, hey, what are you drinking there, man?
Salted caramel whiskey from Southern Edge, sir.
Shouts out to Southern Edge. Every time you turn on your Facebook.
This bottle was full yesterday, man.
That's not good. That's not good, man.
It's okay. I'm drinking responsibly. But go ahead, I'm listening, man. I want you to finish your story so we can get into this thing, man.
No, what I was going to say is every time you turn on, I know at least for me, for the last 5 years or so, every time you turn on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, somebody's doing a podcast, man. And not even just the Two Live Stews.
Right.
After our show came to an end in 2012, like in 2014, I did a podcast every day, 5 days a week for 2 hours a day.
Right.
I think we even went 3 hours a day for like 4 years.
Right.
Here's the crazy thing about that. And shouts out to
Tree Taylor.
Say what?
The lady that to Tree Taylor, the lady that put up with your
No.
BS for those 4 years.
Shouts out definitely to Tree, because Tree was my producer at the time. But shouts out to X Squad. Okay. You know how they talk about these coaching trees, and you're watching the Two Live Stews. You know how you talk about these coaching trees, and so was under this guy, and he became head coach. Man, over 30 podcasts came from the Doug Stewart coaching tree.
That's awesome.
Podcast tree.
That's
I talked
awesome.
to Kesey, who's still doing the show right now. My man kicking it with Kesey.
One time
we
Kesey
did the numbers. We did the numbers, man. And like 30 podcasts came from the original The Doug Stewart Show, and still going today. Vern from Jersey. There's a lot that's come from what we did, man, starting back in 2001. First of all, thank you to everybody.
Yep, thank you all. Thank you.
But I'd like a flower now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, it is Doug Stewart, Ryan. So we are the Two Live Stews. You are in the Two Live Stews experience. It's a beautiful Monday, man, coming right off of the heels of the Super Bowl. And I don't know where you want to start, man. But I will say this, and I'm not one to toot my own horn, but when we did the show last week, I mentioned when I'm wagering on games, there's 3 components that are very important to me. 1, whose defense is better, for whatever the reason may be. Players, scheme. 2, whose head coach is better. Okay? I don't care.
Why are these balloons just going off right now?
That's part of my. It's Mike. I set that up.
You did that on purpose?
The kids play with my devices, man. You'll see in a second.
That's kind of dope.
So 2 was who are the coaches,
and
the 3rd one, man, was the better quarterback.
Right.
I told you last week, sir. Please put that on silent or cut it off. We're going to fine you $5 every time that happens. We're professionals, man.
I thought I turned all of this off.
And we're not doing Texas while we're on the show.
Right.
So,
you're right.
Best defense,
I apologize for that.
Best coach, best quarterback. Sir, I told you last week that the defenses were head-to-head, but because of the youth of the Kansas City Chiefs and how they had 8 rookies playing on that defense last year, that I was giving them the nod because of their youthfulness over the 49ers.
Right.
2, head coaches, man. Your boy Shanahan is now 0 for 3 when going into halftime in freaking Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's 0 for 3. He's been
going in ahead. Right.
He's been up at halftime going into 3 freaking Super Bowls, and he's lost all of them. We'll get into the details later. And the third part, man.
He's a dumbass. I can sum it up for you real quick.
Well, is he a dumbass, man, or is
he's
Andy
slow.
Reid just that much better and smarter than he is? We'll get into that in a second. The third component for gambling on my wages, man, is the quarterback. And Doug, there is no better quarterback in the history of the game than Patrick Mahomes. I said the same thing last week. Yes, I will bow my head and I will submit to the fact that Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's won 7 championships. Unheard of and is crazy. But Patrick Mahomes is less than 30 years old. He's 28. And there's no doubt in my mind that if he keeps doing what he's doing, staying on the field injury-free, he will surpass Tom Brady and that ridiculous 7 Super Bowls that he has. This kid is the best player in the game, Doug.
Wow. You just said a lot just now.
I did.
Before the game, I went on the Two Live Stews Facebook chat group, which, by the way, we got like 40,000 people in it.
It's a big number. That's a big number.
If y'all know any of the people in that group that's not on here right now, shoot them a little text or something. Let them know what's going on.
Holla at your boys.
But right before the game, I posted in the group that I'm going with the Chiefs by 6. And would they win? They won the Super Bowl 25-22 by 3 points. Went into overtime. Bottom line, man, is I just felt like that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to make plays. They've been in this situation many, many times before, obviously. This being their 3rd Super Bowl that they're trying to win. And that I thought that the defense for Kansas City was going to put a lot of heat on Brock Purdy, where they were going to be able to get a couple of stops and thus win the game. And that happened.
Sacks allowed, 1. They only got to him 1 time, but there was immense pressure on his behind all night long. Now, Patrick Mahomes got sacked 3 times, so defensively, the 49ers got to him. The Young, Bosa, Armstead, they played incredible, man. But when you're as cool as a cucumber on the other side of the pillow, like our guy Stewart Scott used to say, you don't allow the pressure to phase you, and that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes did, man. Patrick Mahomes' playoff win percentage is right under 83%, man.
Yeah.
When he gets to the playoffs, he wins 8 out of 10 times when he's performing, sir. That stat by itself, if you think about it, is ridiculous. For him to have, Doug, do you understand what you're seeing when you watch him play on Sundays now, man?
Well,
I didn't catch on to Tom Brady being Tom Brady until he was like 3 or 4 Super Bowls in. Like, wait a minute. And back then it was still kind of, is this Belichick or is this young kid Tom Brady? No, man. If it wasn't Andy Reid coaching Patrick Mahomes, if it was somebody else, he would still be the same Patrick Mahomes he is now, because he, sir, is a wizard on the field.
Yeah, I don't know about all of that. If there was a different coach, different circumstances, the team was drafting different players, I don't know. Because they've got good teams around them. Now, the thing that you brought up about Tom Brady, you feel like that right now Mahomes is better than Brady?
No question.
I always go back to Tom Brady being a cheating bastard. I mean, let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about – no, seriously. Tom Brady or the New England Patriots paid over $1 million in fines for
that's a lot of money, man.
Spygate.
Yeah. The flat ball gate.
Deflategate.
Yeah.
They paid over $1 million to the NFL in fines.
Oh, yeah.
So in my mind, they've been cheating the whole time anyway.
Stealing signs.
They did it all.
Right.
So to me, I've always had an asterisk by Tom Brady, Captain America. Everybody loves him to death. This kid, at the point where he's at right now, is on a projection to be much better and do bigger things than even Tom Brady.
You see the question on the screen, man. How many Super Bowls will Money Mahomes win? He's got 3 already, Doug. He's got 3. He's 28 years old. How many will Money Mahomes win, Doug?
I did the math on this. I looked it up. Tom Brady is 46 years old right now. Okay? So when he retired, probably he played 2 years ago. He didn't play last year. Did he play last year? The past season? I think he did play last season.
He did play last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tom Brady's 46, so he played until
he did not play last year. Baker Mayfield played last year, but the
year
before that, he was in
not the year we're finishing right now. I'm talking about the year previous.
Correct. Okay? Yeah.
Okay. He's 46 now, so what that means is he played until he was 45. Let's just say 44.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is 28 years old.
He's got 3 already.
So if you say that he can play as long as Tom Brady did, I think my math is like 14 years. All right, let's say he doesn't play 14 years. Let's just say Tom Brady, stayed in the pocket. They protected the hell out of him. He never got hurt, Let's just say Patrick Mahomes plays another 10 years. If you had to guess right now, seeing what you've seen from this kid already in his career, how many more Super Bowls you giving him in the next 10 to 12 years?
Only 10 years. Okay.
Only 10. All right. Forget the 12. 10
Okay.
years.
Right.
How many Super Bowls do you think you could pencil in for this kid?
9.
No, you're joking now. No, you're joking now.
It.
No, but listen, there's other teams, there's other players. Nobody's going to let this guy win 9 Super Bowls.
Well,
what are you talking about?
I'm sure after Jordan won 1 or 2, they said, well, yeah, he can't keep doing this. But he did. I'm sure after Tom won 2 or 3, they kept saying, oh, he can't possibly keep doing this. But he did. Listen, man, Andy Reid is a wizard. He's a genius. He's very, very smart. But no one gets the ball out of their hands faster than Patrick Mahomes. Sir, last night, Patrick Mahomes threw for over 300 yards, ran for another 66 yards, okay? He got sacked 3 times, as I mentioned, but He just does it all. He's the only guy I've ever seen that really, literally knows when to run, knows when to stay in the pocket, knows when to step up in the pocket, knows when to move the pocket. It's like he's a genius, man. He's absolutely incredible. And if you're giving him 10 more years with the youth that team has around them already, I'm saying 8 times, man. I know it's a lot.
The man not gonna win 8 more Super Bowls in 10 years.
That's
my
number. You asked me my number. You didn't ask me.
I did ask your number.
Damn it! You didn't ask me to give your number. You asked for my number. I said 8.
I said giving him a lot of credit. I'm gonna give him 5 more, and that's saying a lot for me. To say this man's gonna win 5 more Super Bowls and have 8, one past Tom Brady, is a lot. And you know what? If he is a miracle worker like you think that he is, I mean, yeah, I guess maybe, yeah.
The greatest 5-year run in NFL history belongs to Kansas City.
But look at it like this. I want to interrupt you. Remember what you're going to say.
That's fine.
You're watching the 2 Live Stews.
Yep.
They really technically should have lost the game against Baltimore in the playoffs.
It doesn't work. You can't do that.
No, I'm serious. My point to you is, hold on. My point to you is, I think when you said 9 out of 10 is too much, because you got to figure Lamar is going to win one. We're going to talk about Lamar Jackson here in a second.
Why? Well, wait a minute. Hold on. What in the world has Lamar Jackson done to make you think that he's going to beat Patrick Mahomes in a game head-to-head? He hadn't done nothing.
He's just a 2-time MVP, meaning he's the best player in the game.
Congratulations.
Not only that, they had the best record. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Congratulations.
And, despite, all of the issues that they had in the game where they lost to Kansas City,
guess what?
They were right in that game until the very end.
My kids are walking around the studio, but they're not in here right now. His ass watched the game just like me and you did yesterday, sir. Yeah, Lamar Jackson. He was at home. I don't know where he was, but he was doing the exact same thing that you and I were doing just now. We were watching the game.
And listen, this is futile for us to even argue this. My point to you is 9 Super Bowls in the next 10 years, I think, is a lot. Like Jalen Hurts going to probably try to get a Super Bowl. There's competitors out there.
They're all trying to win a Super Bowl, but he's already got 3. And the team's going to get better. They're going to get a number 1 draft pick next year that's going to be a wide receiver. They're going to build. They're going to get more defensive pieces. They're going to lose Jones on the defensive line, but they're going to replace him. I mean, there's sir.
Come on, man. Okay. You're saying 9 out of the next 10 years, and we got to move on to the next thing. You're watching the 2 Live Stews.
Okay.
9. You don't think that's kind of
that may be a tad that may be a tad extreme, man. But in the last 5 years, they've got 5 division titles, just like the Patriots have. Patriots got them from 2014 to 2018, and now we're talking about 2019 to 2023 with the Chiefs. Conference championships, they both got 5. Super Bowl appearances, they both had 4. Super Bowl wins, Brady's got 3 in the last 5 years, and so does Patrick Mahomes now. Playoff wins and losses, Brady was 12-2, Mahomes was 14-2. Winning percentage-wise, this kid wins all of his games. He finds ways to win. I was at a Super Bowl party last night, and Doug said, you're listening to the 2 Live Stews Experience, Doug Stewart and Ryan Stewart. I was at a Super Bowl party last night at my frat brother's house. When the field goal was made and there was 1 minute and 50-something seconds left, right under 2 minutes, I looked at everybody at the table that I was sitting at, and I said, that is too much time for Patrick Mahomes. That's too much time. And what happened, man? A dink and a dunk, a run. I mean, he's phenomenal. He knows where to be. He's got an eye in the back of his head. He protects the ball through his first interception in a Super Bowl last night. But the guy's just incredible, Doug.
He is, and somebody made a great point, and we got to remember, we got the chat back a little bit right now, so we can read some of this chat stuff. Somebody made a great point, man. You don't think Detroit's going to get one of these Super Bowls, man?
They watched the game like we did last night.
No, but my point is, you saying 9 out of 10 years. You don't think Detroit's going to get a Super Bowl? You don't think Baltimore's going to get one at some point or another?
Okay.
9 is kind of strong. That's all. And I'm not trying to move you off of your thoughts.
My number. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. You're right. Real quick. You're right. All right. 8, not 9. 8. Yeah.
Just one less.
And I love Detroit, man. There's no bigger lion than Ryan. Okay.
So people that don't know that are watching this for the first time, maybe somebody in the Stu's chat group, this guy played for the Detroit Lions for 5 years.
There's no bigger lion than Ryan. But man, we ain't never been there.
Did you just make that up?
We ain't never been there before, man.
Uh-huh.
And we had a chance to go there this year, and our coach shat on himself. Yeah. So you're wanting to give credit where there shouldn't be credit due. I'm wanting to give the credit to the guy that hands down deserves it right now. Yeah. And it's Patrick Mahomes, man.
Great player. When that game went to overtime, I just knew. And speaking of which, two things I want to bring up. Kyle Shanahan's play calling.
Okay.
And I want to talk about Travis Kelce. We're going to move on from this. Travis Kelce basically knocking down his damn head coach. Okay. And I don't know if you saw all of the memes and everything that were on.
If that was Antonio Brown, man, he would have got arrested on the sideline.
Well, Antonio Brown, Terrell Owens.
Right.
There's a lot of guys.
Right.
Matter of fact, I think anybody black. Anybody black.
Would have got arrested, man.
If they would have did what Travis Kelce did to Andy Reid last night, they would have definitely kicked him out of the game. They put cuffs on him. They put cuffs on Killer Mike at the Grammys.
Oh, Lord. Andy Reid's security didn't even step in between them like, hey, man, you can't do that. Backing from coach. Everybody just stayed cool like, oh, it's no big deal.
And let me
been a ninja?
And let me ask the people in the chat group. I didn't see it. I was making the donuts today, okay? Did they address it any of these sports shows like Stephen A. Smith's show, the show with Mike Greenberg? Did any of them bring that up?
I didn't watch either.
Days
that we're gonna do shows, I'm not gonna watch any other TV shows or any other sports shows. I don't want to be influenced. I don't want my mind to be influenced with the subject matter. I want it all to come from me. So I didn't watch anybody or listen to anybody today. I watched Young and the Restless. And I watch. Well, never mind. Go ahead.
You watch Young and the Restless?
Every day.
How long have you watched Young and the Restless?
Since I was 7 years old. 7 years old.
No, I thought you had stopped like maybe 5 or 6 or 10 years ago. I knew you watched it throughout the first run on the radio show.
When I was at Georgia Tech, I set my classes up around Young and the Restless.
Victor Newman's still alive?
12:30. Victor's still alive, man. He had
Victor's still amongst the living?
Victor's still holding pipe, and he's amongst the living, man.
He's holding. Wait, just forget that. What about Nikki? Nikki still around?
Nikki's still alive. She's barely moving though, and she's drinking again. She's back to drinking.
Hey, so listen, for people that don't remember, and you won't remember this because I was very young at our grandmother's house in the summertime. Watching Young and the Restless and all in the all in the family. As the World Turns, all in the family, and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know how Nikki first appeared on the show? And you might have heard me say this on the Two Live Stew show, but let's see.
No, man.
How did Nikki first appear on the show?
Why would I not know that when I've seen every episode ever made?
No, but when she first hit the show, you were probably 3 or 4 years old.
She's the first scripper I've ever seen, man. Nikki is the first scripper I've ever seen. She was a shoe model 40-something years ago when I started watching Young and the Restless, man.
Nikki started out on the Young and the Restless as a scripper.
And that's why
she came up getting with Victor Newman?
Right. But listen, man.
You went from scripting to Victor Newman wealth and money and status.
I've been married 16 years, man, and it's been a hell of a ride, man. But Nikki is the reason why that saying you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, it's not true. That's not true.
Because Victor did it.
Victor did it successfully. She's now running Newman Enterprises. Victor's not even running it anymore. I mean, Nikki the story's still really good, man. The story's still really good. But you mentioned Shanahan too. Shouts out to the good folks from Southern Edge. We got 2 fine spirits. Southern Edge salted caramel whiskey. Very good. And we also have the Southern Edge sweet tea vodka. I took 6 cases over to Alex's house last night, man, for the Super Bowl party. 6 cases, 3 cases of sweet tea vodka, 3 cases of salted caramel whiskey. And when I left, guess what I left with?
What?
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
The bros drank it all because it's so good. Y'all make sure you check it out whenever time allows. Shanahan, man, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, so Kyle Shanahan, head coach of San Francisco 49ers, just a trend. He's been part of 3 Super Bowls, one here in Atlanta, in a 28-3, upset.
At halftime, 23 loss.
28-3 loss to the Patriots, okay? He was the offensive coordinator.
Correct.
He was also the head coach by this time in San Francisco when Jimmy Garoppolo was the starting quarterback. And he was the head coach, obviously, yesterday of the Super Bowl with Kyle Purdy, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Every game, there's a common theme with this guy. All this guy pretty much had to do was run the ball in the second half and waste time from the clock and do a ball control offense. And each time he neglected to do that. He decided not to do that. He continued to pass the ball, putting his team in the way of harm.
Listen to this
slow?
Stat.
That's my question. Is he slow?
Well, you're not supposed to call people the R word anymore.
I didn't say the R word. Okay, I said, is he slow?
I was about to say it, but listen, man. Kyle Shanahan has been outscored as a play caller or coach in the Super Bowl 74-29 in the second halves in 3 Super Bowl appearances. So in the second half, for 3 games, this guy has been outscored 74-29. They should have fired his ass today. They should have made a statement by firing him today, because what happened yesterday, what happened in Atlanta, and what happened in the Super Bowl prior to this one right here cannot happen. You got Christian McCaffrey, who everyone says is the best back, hands down, in today's game. Everybody says it. But you don't give him the ball in the third quarter when you're up. You come out of halftime thinking about what I need to do in the second half to win this game. What adjustments am I going to make? What do I need to do to keep Andy Reid down? And you say, well, let's just allow Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a bad game. Let's just allow Mr. Irrelevant to throw us into a victory despite the fact that we're up after halftime.
Mm-hmm.
He should have got fired today, Doug. I would have fired his ass.
And we weren't on radio together when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. And for people that's watching, and maybe they just kind of like fell into the chat group on Facebook and don't know the history of me and my brother here, we weren't doing the show together in the year that the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. I think it was like 2016 or something like that. I came on the next day on the podcast and talked about how I felt like the Falcons went away from what they did in the first half. Remember, they had Freeman running the ball. He was running crazy in the first half.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And then in the second half, they just stopped giving him the ball, and they continued to let Matt Ryan just throw the football all over the place. Every time he got an incomplete pass, it stopped the clock, and the Patriots found their way back in the game.
That was Matt Ryan's MVP year, too. So they felt confident.
No, they were up 28-3. They didn't have to do that, though, in the second half.
They didn't have to do that. Right.
They didn't have to do that.
Right. They had no business doing that.
The numbers say that there was no way. And remember, at one point in the Super Bowl with the Falcons, they said, after the Patriots scored an early touchdown in the third quarter, they pulled up this stat that based on what the score is right now and how much time is left, there's a 97% chance the Falcons weren't going to lose the game, and them sons of bitches did it.
They lost.
They lost,
man.
And I always felt like that the organization was trying to put Matt Ryan in a position to give him some stats in the second half to give him the MVP award. I really feel like that. I really feel like that. Because Freeman was balling in the first half. They couldn't stop him.
333 yards passing last night for Patrick Mahomes. 333 yards, man. And he did it effortlessly. There's like only, I think it was 5 passes that were over 10 yards, maybe. Mm-hmm. He completed 1 for 50 yards. But it's dinking and dunking. It's positioning. It's finding the guy for the check down because the tight end might be covered. It's wait a minute, I got one. And if there's somebody down the field that's open, unlike Brock Purdy, who had that problem twice yesterday or 3 times, overthrowing guys that was by themselves, Patrick Mahomes is not going to miss that guy. He just doesn't do that.
Right.
You mentioned Garoppolo in the last Super Bowl the 49ers were in when they lost that lead also. Garoppolo missed an open guy, wide open, which would have won them the game. With Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position, that doesn't happen. He doesn't give the ball away. He protects the ball. He makes every throw that's supposed to be made. There's certain guys where they've got to make the play that they're given, and sometimes they got to find a way to make a play when they can't make a play.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes does that consistently all of the time, man.
Right. All right, let's move on, man. Great job by the Kansas City Chiefs, and the sky's the limit. I don't know about 9 out of the next 10, but sky's
I changed
the
it
limit.
to 8. You're right. That was 9 was ridiculous. I changed it. It's going to be 8.
Okay, so kind of let's talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. All right, they had the Hall of Fame class. The names came out. They're all that's going to into the. Go ahead.
I probably should let you. And she's already put the graphic up. So okay, never mind. You go ahead. I'm listening. You're right. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say something about the halftime show, but we can get to that later. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, we wanted to talk about the Hall of Famers. The Hall of Famers that are going into the Hall of Fame this past year.
Yep.
And Tree just had the graphic up. Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, Randy Grandichar, Patrick Willis, the linebacker.
I had to look him up today, Grandichar.
Okay. Steve McMichael, Devin Hester, and Julius Peppers.
Congratulations to all of them.
You know I'm very hard on this thing here, man.
Do you question any of those that you just named, Doug? Do you question any of them?
Well, I really don't.
Are you like I don't believe they're doing that, or why they're doing that?
So Zach Thomas got in a couple of years ago. Maybe it was even last year. Zach Thomas, the linebacker from Miami, got into the Hall of Fame. And I was like, he was just kind of,
he's a very good player, man.
Very good players, and these guys are solid. But once again, I'm very hard on going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You've always said it can't be the Hall of Good. It's got to be the Hall of Great.
It's got to be the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Great.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys are very, very good. But I always look at it like, would I put Patrick Willis in the same conversation as Mike Singletary and Ray Lewis? No.
Just a slight tear down. I would. Okay. The better question is, would you put Patrick Willis ahead of Zach Thomas, who you just mentioned? Okay, because Zach Thomas was a great linebacker, man.
Yeah, both of them never really had success as far as winning Super Bowls or anything like that. Right. Both of them were great players. They made a ton of tackles. I don't know. There's probably a toss-up between Patrick Willis and Zach Thomas from the Miami Dolphins.
Patrick Willis was an amazing player. There's not many middle linebackers that are better than he was. He also, he probably could have played another 3 or 4 years. He was one of the guys that realized that the concussion thing was more serious than people thought, and he's one of the guys that shut it down early. I would say he left his career 4 or 5 years premature. He probably could have played another 4 or 5 more years, but absolutely instinctive, incredible football player, man.
Yeah, I think he started to have issues with injuries at the end.
How about the snubs, man? Who do you think should have gotten in that didn't get in?
I know Torrey Holt, the guy that I keep seeing is Torrey Holt that played for the St. Louis Rams. Were they St. Louis at that time? I believe they were the St. Louis Rams. It just seems like that everything they did, and this is what I think is hurting him, is that looks like everything they did in St. Louis at that time was kind of like a system. Like they could have plugged any good, solid wide receiver in there.
But Kurt Warner's in from the same team. Marshall Faulk is in from the same team.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's the other receiver that's in? Isaac Bruce? Isaac Bruce in?
I think Isaac Bruce is in. Yeah, I don't know. But it's once again, I always feel like that you have to be exceptional. You have to have changed the game some kind of way, maybe. You don't have to think about the guy. When you say his name, when you hear his name, you automatically think, yeah, one of the best of all time.
Right.
And when I hear guys' names, and I said this before, when I hear guys' names like Curtis Martin, the running back, and Zach Thomas, like
whoa, easy, man. Curtis Martin.
Yeah, Curtis Martin, he was okay, but I can't put him in the same conversation with Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, And O.J. Simpson.
That's a tier above. You're right.
You see what I'm saying?
You're right.
It's like, once again, it's like a Hall of Fame and a Hall of very, very good.
Right. Well, he was one of the players that I was blessed to game plan against. And he was and it was late in his career when I was still playing ball, but Curtis Martin would tote the mail. Mm-hmm. I mean, he would drop his shoulders and run you over. He would shift you and shake you to the side. I mean, pass block, protect, catch balls. I mean, he was one of those guys that was really one of them ones.
So no matter what, congratulations to all of those guys getting elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Devin Hester got in, and this is kind of like my Devin Hester argument. Devin Hester was a game changer. He was a game breaker. He may not have changed the game, but Devin Hester was dynamic. Okay? This guy can take the ball back on a kick return, punt return at any time. I get it for Devin Hester.
I'm going to give you a few names of the people I thought were snubbed, but I'm going to start by talking about Andre Johnson is in. 1,062 receptions, 14,185 yards, and 70 touchdowns, okay? He's in. Reggie Wayne, however, is out. He was not nominated. Eligible for election, but was not nominated. 1,070 receptions, 14,345 yards, and 82 TDs. What am I trying to highlight here? I just read Andre Johnson's numbers to you. All of Reggie Wayne's numbers are better. All of them. Receptions, yards, touchdowns.
A lot of his politics too. A lot of it's who the media guys like because they're voting.
All right.
A lot of it's he was very willing to give me an interview whenever I wanted to, so I'm gonna give him a vote.
Okay.
That type of thing.
Reggie Wayne was a media savvy guy. Reggie Wayne played for or with a team that is recognized and heralded as one of the better ran NFL teams in the league, the Colts. Andre Johnson was on a team that notoriously doesn't do anything but get their butt kicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once again, I probably wouldn't have put him in.
Reggie Wayne won Super Bowls. He's a guy that's got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have. But Andre Johnson is not. I mean, Andre Johnson is in, and Reggie Wayne is not. They've got to figure out a way, and I'm fine with Andre Johnson being in. He's a great, big, fast dude. He was one of the trendsetters with receivers that are now, big and fast and strong and look like he could be outside linebackers or could be a tight end, but playing the receiver position. They've got to do and figure out a way to make it more, to make it make more sense.
Right. To be equal.
Every stat that Reggie Wayne has is better than Andre Johnson.
Were you dominant?
Something's not right with that, man.
Right.
I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, were you dominant? Did you change the game? Was your skill level unquestionable? Like when Dion was playing, you knew Dion basically was better than everybody.
Right.
It didn't matter who was lined up against him. You knew he was better than everybody. Barry Sanders, you know Barry Sanders really literally by himself could juke 6 out of the 11 guys on defense.
Gets a juke.
Yeah, that's old school, right?
Yep.
Did you undoubtedly help your team win in the playoffs and beyond? So already these guys are behind the 8 ball when they play on a bad team or team that didn't do a lot in the playoffs. I don't know. I just feel like, man, you have to be the best of the best to be in the Hall of Fame.
So what you're saying to me is that Andre Johnson being a freak of nature to get those numbers on the losing team was more impressive than Reggie Wayne catching passes from Peyton Manning and having Edris James in the background, in the backfield, and having, so he had a supporting cast to support his numbers, is what you're saying. So you think his numbers could be looked at as he got those numbers because of a supporting cast, whereas Andre Johnson did not.
Right. He was dominant on a bad team.
He
Like
was the difference
still
maker.
Good. He was still good. Andre Johnson was still good despite them bunch of losers he played with.
Okay.
Simple as that.
All
I think that's how the voters take a look at it. All right. What about next year, man? The list for the candidates for next year's Football Hall of Fame have come out. And Luke Kuechly, former linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, Eli, Earl Thomas, longtime safety, Marshawn Lynch, Adam Vinatieri, Clay Matthews, Terrell Suggs, Joe Staley, Vernon Davis, Akeem Talib, Ryan Khalil, and if you can read the graphic, it says, who the hell is Marshall Yanda? I don't even know who that guy is. I looked it up. I do know he is because I looked it up, but when I saw this list, I didn't know who the hell that guy was. He plays lineman, evidently, for the Baltimore Ravens. Have you ever heard his name before?
He's a lineman, man. Who cares?
No, but I mean, there's been a lot of great linemen that were notable, and you knew that they were dominant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this Marshall Landa tree, if you could put that back up there one more second. So let's go through each one of these guys that are up for the Pro Football Hall of Fame next year. Notable candidates. It may be some other people that they're forgetting. Luke Kuechly. Without even looking up numbers, I don't want you to recite any numbers, and you're watching the Two Live Stews. When you hear Luke Kuechly, do you say one of the greatest linebackers of all time? Yes, he's a Hall of Famer.
Hands down, no question. And he's also another one that walked away early. He could have played another 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
He's in.
I'm never putting Luke Kuechly in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning.
That man won 2 Super Bowls, but he was the MVP of both of them. He's in.
So
he won 2 freaking Super Bowls.
Eli was very, very average a lot of the years that he played in the league in the regular season. Really, in the years that he got in the playoffs and they didn't win the Super Bowl, he was average then too. He's a Manning. He got 2 rings. He's going to get in. That's my thought.
I'm willing to bet, without looking at his stats, as you just mentioned twice, he's in the top 10 in every single category.
Earl Thomas, safety.
No. He was great. Very good player. Undersized player. Didn't do anything outside of the Legion of Boom where they were in Seattle and they had Richard Sherman and I forgot who the other corner was. I would say Earl was a great safety, but I don't think Ed Reed when I hear Earl Thomas. I don't think Ronnie Lott when I hear Earl Thomas. I don't think Steve Atwater when I hear Earl Thomas.
Steve Atwater is not in the Hall of Fame. Long-time Denver Bronco safety. Steve Atwater not in the Hall of Fame. Earl Thomas can't get in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Here's a good one. Beast mode. Marshawn Lynch. In or out? When you hear Marshawn Lynch, do you say one of the greatest of all times? I'll put him in the same category with Walter Payton, with O.J. Simpson, with Tony Dorsett. I'll put him in the category with all those guys.
I don't put him in that category.
You know what?
He was a beast. He was a beast, hence the name. Incredible player. He should have 2 Super Bowls, only got 1. He carried them down the field on his back. He carried the Seahawks down the field on his back to get that second Super Bowl when Pete Carroll decided not to give him the ball and they threw the interception. I don't think Barry Sanders when I think Marshawn Lynch. I don't think of the greats. I don't think he's one of those greats.
So I think based on a couple of individual runs,
I like him a lot, though. I like him a lot.
This man has probably the greatest run, a single run by a running back, maybe in NFL history. You can go to YouTube.
He stiff-armed like 10 people?
He stiff-armed like 10 people, man.
Yeah.
He threw like 5, 10 people off him, ran over like 5 or 10 people. I know there's 30 people on the defense. But my point is this man had maybe the greatest run in NFL history. Now, that's just one run. But I think he gets in, but I don't think he's first ballot.
He may eventually get in, man, but I don't. And them people don't like him, man. Remember that. He was the one that said, I'm only here because I don't want to be fined.
Right.
And that's how he answered. He was not media friendly at all. As a matter of fact, he didn't mess with them folk, man.
Adam Vinatieri, kicker.
He's a kicker, man. He can kick rocks.
He's a damn kicker.
Hall of Fame. He's a damn kicker, man.
Clay Matthews, linebacker for the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think Buckus. Yeah. As a matter of fact, right around the time when I got drafted by Detroit was when he was in Green Bay. Detroit drafted Reggie Brown that year when I came in also. Reggie Brown was 10 times better than Clay Matthews, 10 times.
Yeah, but
and didn't end up finishing his career because of injury. But yeah, Clay is good, man. But I don't think Hall of Fame when I hear his name.
All right, Terrell Suggs, defensive end for the Baltimore Ravens. Terrell Suggs has a ton of sacks. Somebody shot me a message in one of the Facebook posts about how many sacks that Terrell Suggs has.
I think he was a benefactor of playing with Ray Lewis and Peter Bowen on the other side, and I very good instinctive player, but I don't think Hall of Fame when I hear his name.
Joe Staley, offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's an old lineman, man. I wish him the best.
Vernon Davis, tight end for the Washington Commanders, what they're calling him today.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
He did most of his work there.
That's right.
I would dare to say that Vernon Davis will be a Hall of Famer. He was one of those hybrids, man, that was a little undersized to block, but was a little oversized to be separated from the line, catching passes. He was a great man. I think Vernon Davis to get in.
Aqib Talib, we're not even going to spend a lot of time on him. This man has held weapons to people's heads. This man has got charges. This man is not going into Football Hall of Fame. You agree, right?
What I will agree on is that
first of all, it's a defensive back. It's hard to get in as being a defensive back.
What he's done off the field should not be a part of the equation for him getting in.
What? I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
I would pass on him.
Okay,
Ryan. I don't think Charles Woodson. I don't think Deion Sanders when I hear Talib.
Right, absolutely not. Ryan Khalil.
Ryan
Khalil and Marshall Yanda. We'll put all of them in the same category.
We didn't even know who Marshall Yanda was, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to quantify an offensive lineman. Jonathan Ogden. Unless you Jonathan Ogden, somebody
Tony
like
Boselli,
that, man. Tony Boselli. It's like guys, offensive linemen that even though they're linemen, they don't get a lot of credit. You still know their name. You still hear about how many pancakes they had in this particular year, that particular year.
Right.
So I really don't have a lot of thought on offensive linemen, to be honest with you, but we'll see.
Before we move off the Hall of Fame, man, I do have to put up one name that got snubbed, and I'm wondering if you will think he'll eventually get in.
And you're watching the Two Live Stews.
It's the Two Live Stew experience.
Mm-hmm.
Stewart, Ryan Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Taylor, man. Former Jacksonville Jaguar, former Florida Gator.
You know what I think when I think Fred Taylor?
Average under 5 yards a carry for his career.
I think solid, but I don't think Barry Sanders or Walter Payton or O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
I just don't. And maybe it's my bias being older and the
66
generation
TDs, man, 11,600 yards.
The generation I came up in, like you're always fond of, who were the players when you were a kid, when you were growing up.
Right.
And maybe that's part of it. I don't respect these new guys. I'm trying to think, is there anybody playing right now that I say I would put in the same category with the greats? Like I've been mentioning, OJ, Walter Payton, Dorsett. I don't really see anybody right now. Adrian Peterson, he's not even playing anymore.
Right.
Adrian Peterson, that's about it. Like I can't think of anybody else.
What about the Jones kid in Green Bay?
Oh, hell no.
No?
No. No. I mean, maybe Adrian Peterson I would put in. Beast mode I would put in, but not first ballot.
How about a healthy Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, he's had a little injury issue so far. I mean, at his projection.
I said a healthy.
Okay. I got to see more. I got to see more. Right now, no. Right now, more.
Okay.
You're watching the Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. Let's talk a little bit, and I know this is a little bit dated because this came out it's really not that dated. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. When it was announced, but Lamar Jackson wins his second MVP award. First, your thoughts. We're going to talk about this graphic we got up on the screen right here. But first, your thoughts about Lamar Jackson winning and accepting his second MVP award this past weekend.
He's an amazing football player that even up until this year, a lot of them folk were saying he should just be a running back, should be a wide receiver still, even though he's had 5 stellar years in the NFL. I think he's well deserving of that award. I think he, hands down, was must-see TV every weekend. I think he's worthy, and I think if he would allow his game to represent itself and do what he does, which is run a 4-3 and get first downs by moving the chain without throwing the ball, I think if he had a mindset to do that whenever he wanted to versus versus him standing there and making himself stay, I think he'd be a much better player than he is already. But congratulations to him, and he deserved that MVP this year. No question.
So if you check out the graphic, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Lamar Jackson in a second. Anybody that's in the Two Live Shoes Facebook group knows that I'm a huge fan of Lamar Jackson. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. But that graphic that Tree had up just now, if you can pull that back up for us, Tree, one quick second. They about to be mad. NFL is about to look real dark, okay? And so the way that this graphic came up and this conversation came up, this is actually from a post in the Facebook chat group.
Okay.
Like, all of these guys are projected to play or be starters in the NFL in the next couple of years.
On the heels of a year where there were 14 black starters this year.
Right. So Caleb Williams from USC, Bryce Young from that plays for Houston in college, played for Ohio State.
Bryce Young's in Carolina now.
No, Bryce Young for Alabama. C.J. Stroud for Ohio State.
Right.
Malik Cunningham, Louisville. Anthony Richardson from Florida. Spencer Rattler at South Carolina. Dorian Thompson, UCLA, who played this year, played very well. So maybe not all of these guys that we had on this graphic are going to end up being starters, but there's going to be a couple other brothers coming out this year that are going to get drafted high.
Yep.
Okay. Caleb Williams is probably going to be the first pick in the draft.
Penix
Jr. is going to get drafted probably in the first round.
Yep.
Like, if you do the math, in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, like 20 out of the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL are going to be black.
Shame on general managers, presidents, owners, and head coaches that to this day, when Lamar Jackson was available, say we're not interested in talking to him. Shame on them.
Yeah.
Shame on every person that I just mentioned that has had the ability to get someone at that position who is just a tad bit more athletic. The game has changed, man. You've got defensive ends like the Gary kid in Cleveland that is 260, 270 pounds, 6'5", 6'6", and running 4.5s, man.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you've got guys that size playing the DN position or playing the outside linebacker position, and sometimes when the ball is snapped, they are unabated getting to the quarterback. There's nothing the quarterback can do if he's not mobile. All the guys you have on that graphic, man, I'm not saying that our Caucasian brothers that play the position aren't mobile. I'm not saying that at all. But all these guys right here, they got some giddy up in their hitch that can move them down the field whenever that pocket collapses. And that's a weapon for every single team in the National Football League. We talked about it for decades on radio, and now we're seeing it come to light.
Oh, yeah.
We want the best athletes at every position on the football field. And the quarterback touches the ball offensively every freaking snap.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to do something good with it.
Well, a lot of people know the story of how this show came about. Me and you had this big argument about mobile quarterbacks and their place in the NFL and would they be successful.
Do you remember who it was? Do you remember specifically who it was?
Yeah, it was specific. We were debating about Quincy Carter. I'll tell you how far back this goes.
The Dallas
Quincy
Cowboys.
Carter was playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
So this was
it's a long time ago.
The first year of the show was late 2001. So I think it was during that preseason or whatever, we had this big argument about Quincy Carter. And I said it back then. We talking 2001 that's the way the league is going right now because these guys are so much athletic, more athletic defensively. And so long story short, people in the chat room know that I go hard for Lamar Jackson. And it really, I'm going to keep it real. It really bothers me when I see people in that chat group.
Keep it real, Dougie.
When I see brothers in that chat group criticizing Lamar Jackson and not giving him his just due and not giving him the credit that he deserves. Because in the history of the NFL, like black quarterbacks a lot of times weren't given the opportunity. Man, do you know they tried to make Warren Moon like a wide receiver, something like that? So I always go hard because they got so much negative coming from traditional media. I always want to see them do well. And guess what? If they don't do well, I don't say nothing. You remember we was growing up? You remember we was growing up? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Just don't say nothing at all.
That's kind of like my mindset about black quarterbacks. Damn it, Lamar Jackson, he didn't play his greatest game. I'm just not going to say nothing. So, I'm not going to bash this guy knowing the plight of the black quarterback in the NFL and its history. I'm not going to do that.
One of our first cabinets are dog and poodles that literally helped us out in some form or fashion while we were on air doing radio. We had dogs and poodles that, like the Bugman was triple platinum. Right. He was his first cabinet. The Bugman was also my Bugman. Okay, Spa Doja, out of the kindness of his heart, one day.
Your pest guy, your pest control guy.
Yes. Right. Out of the kindness of Spa Doja's heart, one day at the tailgate, he said, "Hey man, what time you get out here to start this tailgate?" I said, "Man, I'm out here 4 hours before the game." "Well, how long you usually stay?" "Oh, I usually stay 2-3 hours after the game." "All right, well, moving forward, man, whenever it's a home game, I'm gonna take care of it for you." "Excuse me?" Mm-hmm. "Yeah, I need something to do on Sundays. I know you got a family and all." So anyway, one of the first cabinet members, 3-Pete J. Everyone knows him. I don't call him 3-Pete anymore. I call him Uncle Ruckus now.
Right. He sounds like damn Uncle Ruckus half the time.
I call him Uncle Ruckus because it's like he turned into a miniature Jason Whitlock. Mm-hmm. You see him on chats and stuff, in Facebook groups and stuff, just bashing black folk.
Right.
Lamar Jackson is one of the black people that he bashes.
Yeah. So the man is voted the best player in the league 2 years, and you still got something negative to say? And yeah, he didn't advance as far as he wanted to, but come on, man.
My thing with 3-Pete was you have no home training. And I know you people.
You got no home training.
I loved your father, but you have no home training. Why are you making time to bash a quarterback that looks just like you and has had 2 MVPs, and you're trying to toe this line that he's not a winning quarterback? He's not a good quarterback. Some
of these ninjas will throw these black quarterbacks under the bus like it ain't nothing.
And the moral of my story was
3-P is like school in the summertime.
There's no class.
No class.
There's no class. Yeah, man. Them folk, man, will ride or die for Josh Allen like he's.
Oh my gosh, Josh Allen is freaking Joe Montana.
They'll lie to you while watching a game when he makes a mistake or throws a bad ball. They'll tell you how it's okay or how it's good or why that happened. And they shout from the rooftop when he completes the 6-yard pass like he's done something. And they're dogging the hell out of Lamar.
Yeah.
So now you, looking like Lamar, is dogging Lamar. It just doesn't add up to me.
If you don't want to say something nice, I really think you just shouldn't say nothing. And here's the crazy thing about it. I made this post in the group as well, and you're watching the 2 Live Stews. When Dan Marino played, when Dan Fouts played, when those guys played, and when Jim Kelly played for the Buffalo Bills, mm-hmm. Those guys always were upset. Those guys always had great seasons, but they never could get over the hump. They could never win a Super Bowl. Okay, Jim Kelly got the 4 Super Bowls and lost them all.
All of them.
All of them. But I promise you, these same people that drag Lamar Jackson, they go out of their way to say something negative about Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Yeah. These same people will never say a mumbling bad word about them 3 guys I just named just now.
You'll find this on the 2 Live Stews Yahoo YouTube page. I did a rewind. I'm doing something called a Ryan's Rewind from time to time, man. When I think about something that I was passionate about when we weren't on air, I'm going to go back in my spare time and do it now because I didn't do it back then, okay? But right. I did a rewind a couple of days ago, and that was the essence of it all right there. We are not fair to ourselves. We are our own worst critics. we do not want to big up or push forward or say good job to someone that looks or sounds or acts or comes from the place where we come from. It's really disheartening, man.
It's a sickness. Let me ask you one question, and we're gonna move on. It's a sickness.
It's a sickness, man.
It's Uncle Ruckus sickness. This whole thing, we're not gonna go back over the summer, but this whole thing with Lamar was a restricted free agent. Teams could have made an offer for him. Would he have, would the Ravens have let him go? Maybe not, but you don't know. One of the points I made about Lamar Jackson and why he's so different than everybody else is he's kind of in that same, not as much, but he's kind of in that same class as Mike Vick was. What I mean by that is he by himself sells tickets.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
People pay their money to come see Lamar Jackson do something Lamar Jackson-ish.
Is going to do right.
That game, the Super Bowl yesterday, really was kind of slow the first half. The second half it got a lot better.
It was terribly slow.
The second half it got a lot better. The end was fantastic. You had a lot of drama, this, that, and the other. I promise you, if Lamar Jackson would have been and the Baltimore Ravens would have made it to the Super Bowl, there would have probably been about 50% more hype. There would have probably been about 40% more added to the ticket price.
It would have been a more exciting game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay?
No question.
This guy sells tickets. You got to add that into the equation. Ain't nobody paying to see no damn I was about to quote 5 Heartbeats. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see Brock Purdy. People coming to see Lamar Jackson. People came to see Mike Vick. Yeah. Those guys, they're the price of admission. They're worth the price of admission. And that means something.
My cousin, well, your cousin too, Brian Scott, was drafted to the Atlanta Falcons, and I did not purchase season tickets. I didn't get season tickets for that.
Mm-hmm.
The minute, what's the coach's name back then who drafted Mike Vick? Not Landry. Tall guy. I'm disappointed in myself. It'll come to me in a second.
Uh-huh.
The minute they drafted Mike Vick, man,
mm-hmm.
I got online and purchased season tickets.
Yes, and I promise you,
I never ever had them before in my life.
Right.
But I purchased them because of Michael Vick.
Right.
Every game until the situation with the poodles and the dogs, every game that he was a part of at that dome, I was down there.
And you're talking about Dan Reeves. Dan Reeves was a coach when the Falcons drafted.
Thank you very much. Somebody
shouts
in the chat group
out to Just in Time 5378 in the chat group.
Appreciate you, Just. Appreciate you, man. You're part of the show, dog. So my cousin was there. I didn't get tickets. Mike Vick came. I purchased 2 season tickets and didn't miss a game. Started going on games for the road when they were traveling because he was must-see TV, sir.
Right. Absolutely.
He was 100% worth every penny that I spent on him.
You're watching the Two Live Stews, Doug, Stewart, Ryan, Stewart Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. We need to wind up this show here, man. I got to go make the donuts. I just hate to be so blunt. Couple of things we do have to get in, though. We'll switch a little bit over to the entertainment side.
I love that.
What's everybody in America talking about today, man?
The halftime show.
The halftime show last night. Usher Raymond, fondling Swiss Beats gal, all on national TV. I'm fighting this dude.
Hey,
you see this graphic we got up?
I'm so proud of you, man.
You cannot be fondling my old lady, man, up on national TV.
His penis is on her buttocks.
Hey, man, wait a minute. This is 2 shows in a row. You using the technical term for a tallywhacker, man.
Well,
stop talking about penises on this show.
Well, testicles acceptable. It's okay if you're using the proper terms to say those things.
All right, so 2 things we got to touch upon. This Usher all grinding all up on Alicia Keys. He has to know Swiss Beats. You cannot be grinding all up on that man's wife like this. What are your thoughts about this? And we got to talk about Jermaine Dupri and his outfit.
I got a lot of respect and love for Swiss Beats and for Alicia Keys in their relationship. I think they're really cool. They're one of hip hop's most humblest couple in my eyes, okay? But there's no doubt that when Alicia Keys is not with Swiss, that Usher is in them guts. No doubt in my mind. I saw two people on that stage that frequently have sexual relations.
Yeah, they was laughing and giggling too much.
This is not.
There's a lot of familiarity here. I don't care.
This is not the behavior of two people who aren't comfortable with each other without clothes on. Yeah. Listen, and I saw a graphic earlier where Swiss was beside this picture, kind of looking like the doo-doo face. This one right here. This is it right here.
So wait a minute. This is from the real Swiss Beats. He says, y'all talking about the wrong damn thing. Y'all don't see that amazing dress covering the entire stadium. Man, damn that dress, Swiss. The man was fondling your old lady on national TV.
Look,
wait, go back to that tree. Go back to that. Go back to that tree.
Go
back to the Swiss Beats comments, Tree, when you get a second.
Usher's hand is on top of a revolver, man. I mean, this.
Her what?
Never mind.
Did you say vulva?
Never mind.
6th grade science class, man. Let me finish reading this comment. Tonight's performance was nothing but amazing with two amazing giants. Congrats, Usher, and my love, Alicia Keys. That song is classic. We don't do negative vibes on the side. We make history. Man, you emasculated like a summer bitch. Hey, let me ask you a question. And you're watching the Two Live Shoes, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart.
Hey, if I was Swiss Beats, the minute Alicia Keys got home from Vegas, I'm going to look at her and say, hey, pack your shit. I want you out.
This is a serious question, and I just
came up with this.
And I just came up with this. It's a serious question. Which is worse? Usher Raymond, and you know Usher nasty. You know it. If you ever listen to any of his songs, he's a freak. All right? What's worse? Usher Raymond grinding all up on your gal on national, not just national TV,
the Super
Bowl.
More eyes are on that program than any other program in the world for the entire year.
Okay. What's worse? Okay. Usher Raymond grinding all up on your gal on national TV during the Super Bowl, or Chris Rock making a couple of jokes about your wife.
Hey, man.
So my point is, what was the result of a dude talking about a man's wife compared to a dude fondling yours? Like he was grabbing her ass all like that from the back.
Listen, man.
He had a handful of cheeks.
Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words, they'll never hurt me. You can talk about my wife, man. It's okay.
It was jokes.
You can't put your penis on her buttocks. You can't do that.
Listen, the point of it is a man got slapped on national TV for talking about his wife. Will Smith said, I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth because you're talking about my wife in a negative way. And Usher Raymond is literally fondling this woman on national TV.
I'm going to take it a step further.
You know how to remember what you're going to say. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You do remember that last night Usher took his shirt off, right? I don't think Swiss want to step to him either. It looks like Usher works out 3 to 4 times a week, sir.
He looked a little flabby to me, but that doesn't even matter. If that was you in that situation, you know how these young kids have that saying, on site?
on business, on
site. If you see Swiss Beats in them streets, okay?
I got to step to him.
If Swiss Beats sees Usher in them streets,
I got to step to him.
Do you think he going to step to him?
No, man.
Clearly not after that comment.
He put out his little peaceful tweet to show the world that there's no anger, no angst, no problems going on. Yeah, but she had to move out of my house. Yeah, if at any point in time
she got to go.
If at any point in time any man grabs my wife and she smiles like that,
yeah, she was smiling too hard.
He needs to pay the mortgage. I'm not gonna pay the mortgage no more if you smiling like that when some man places their self on you. And no.
She was smiling too hard.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
almost think this is much her fault as Usher. Usher just gonna be a dude. A guy just gonna be a guy. And if you let me fondle you on national TV and you happy and you smiling, you giggling, I'm gonna do it.
The great Arlie Michelle. Welcome to Arlie Will. Y'all will see and hear from her soon in this very program. We've got a great entertainment reporter that we're going to introduce at some point in time. Said there's nothing wrong with what Usher did. The hell?
See, we old school. We from the country.
The hell? That's all I'm gonna say, man.
That was an on-site event. That was an on-site event.
Hey,
Tree had her hand raised. Tree, you wanted to say something?
Well, and as she, oh, come on,
Tree. Y'all are getting on my nerves.
Go ahead.
Because if it was the other way around, Janet Jackson got her whole breast, exposed, and no one was. They blamed it on her. So
that was bad. And that whole thing was
here we are degrading this woman. And mind you, the eggplant, I know it probably was touching. And let's be clear. Let us all be clear about how
emoji language.
Well, they know.
I know about the eggplant.
Swiss didn't get her the right way anyway. So
I was going to address that.
What do you mean he didn't get her the right way?
It's kind of like she was with someone else when they met. It was kind of like he kind of took her from someone, and I think they both had friends or partners or something at the time. I don't know the whole story, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But yeah, if you make my wife smile like that, you need to pay the bills. Yeah, you need to pay the bills. I got a real problem with that.
That just wasn't cool. And lastly,
I'm gonna tell you a quick story, man. Real quick.
No, go ahead. Man. I love quick stories. I love quick stories.
On our honeymoon, coming back from Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah,
we were in the DR.
Yeah.
In the airport, we see Idris Elba.
What?
And
you saw Stringer Bell?
Stringer was getting on the plane.
Hey man, don't tell me my sister-in-law
she freaking lost it. She freaking lost it, man.
What? JP lost it.
She said, "Babe, is that it? That's it." And I said, well, babe, calm down. Calm down.
You know what you should have did? You know what you should have did? You should have grabbed her by a collar.
No, man. No physical abuse.
We're not doing that.
No, I didn't say hit her. I did say hit her. But you just had to grab her real firm.
You're on thin ice.
You had to grab her real firm.
So I proceed to tell her hell to the no when she asked me to take a picture of them, right? No, I'm not taking a picture of you and Idris, right? And then after we took about 4 or 5 steps,
wait, stop. Right. And you're watching the 2 Lives 2. That went right past me. She asked you, damn it.
How dare you?
She asked you to take a picture, and I'm sorry, man. This is still working.
You owed the pot $15 tonight, man. What is going on?
Okay, I apologize. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna put some tape on that.
She asked me, fresh off making her an honest woman. I put a big old rock on her finger, made her an honest woman, and she asked me to take a picture of her and another dude coming off our honeymoon. I told her no, and I meant it. But after 5 steps, I felt kind of bad. Right? So we get on the plane, and I'm like, babe, we just got married, real happy, and you go all Google eyes, and you lose it when you see Idris Elba like that.
Hey, man.
She said, well, what if Beyonce would have came in there?
It's none of your business. Don't put me in this. Don't put this in. So Tree's able to actually put some of the chat up, and KK says you a hater, Ryan. Nah, man, that's not cool.
No, man. No, man.
You asked me to take a picture of you and some other famous Hollywood star.
Hey, man.
Damn,
looking back at it, I should have been a bigger man than I was that day.
No, you didn't. You was a perfect size man. No, you wasn't. You know we don't play that where we come from, man.
How dare she ask you to do that, man?
Whatever.
I guess I know you wasn't. You was the perfect size man.
Right. And lastly, before we get out of here, Tree, go ahead and drop that graphic. Oh, no, you want to say something before you drop the last graphic. There it goes.
There's a penguin on the screen, man. There's a penguin. There's a pilgrim. Who okayed this, man?
Okay, listen. I should have talked to you about this before.
Who
I should have talked to you
okayed
about this before.
man?
I should have talked to you before we had this conversation on what Jermaine Dupri wore last night at this Super Bowl. Remember, this is the mayor of Atlanta.
I got nothing but love and respect for JD.
Okay, listen, I would love to have him on as a guest at some point, and what we say in the next 2 or 3 minutes
it's probably going to
greatly affect that. So, first of all, just be careful. Shouts out to JD. Shouts out to So Def,
hey,
So Def family.
You see that picture on the right?
Lil Jon.
You saw the picture on the right there?
Yeah.
Okay, the shoe. I can go upstairs to Morgan's room right now. Right now, Ninja. And I'll come back down with that exact same shoe right there, man. Right now.
Hey, man, go get that shoe. Go ahead. We got some time.
I'm not going to leave the air, man.
No, I want you to go get that shoe.
I don't have any pants on, man. If I get up, man, everything will be swinging.
You don't have no pants on.
No, man.
Wait, it's time to go.
I said to myself,
I told you to change your shirt, not take off your pants.
Well, when I put this shirt on, it didn't match the outfit, so I took my pants off and my underwear.
Now, listen. I will say this: during this time of COVID, 9 times out of 10, when I was on a Zoom meeting, I was naked from the waist down. And listen, and don't act like America wasn't naked from the waist down during COVID. Seriously.
Hey,
so really, technically, what you just said is really not that far out of bounds, but it is out of bounds at the same damn time.
If there were cameras set up in this house, y'all would really think we some freaks around here, man. At any time, at any given moment, me, my wife, or any one of our 3 kids will be in this house bucket naked, man, in the middle of the day.
Man, I used to have, because COVID, we exclusively did, work over Zoom.
Right.
And I probably did, and this is not a lie, I'm not exaggerating. You're listening to the 2 Live Stews, watching the 2 Live Stews. I probably averaged maybe 5 Zoom meetings a day during COVID.
That's terrible, man. That's a terrible way to live.
And just imagine, not too hard, but imagine me giving a presentation about the third quarter and what we look like expectations are going to be. We're going to try to do this, that, and the other, and I'm naked, man. I'm butt-ass naked.
Yeah, man. I can almost guarantee.
Boxer briefs at the maximum.
I can almost guarantee, man, every time we do this.
You got to get a fan in there or something, man.
Yeah, I'll warm it up. I'll cool it off. But I can pretty much guarantee, man, every time we do this, that I will be just dressed up top, man.
Yeah. No, I don't want you to do that because I really didn't want you to go because that would have been great stuff for the show for you to go grab a little 4-year-old girl's shoe.
And man, my I don't need to be running up and down steps, man. I'm just best to stay right here, man.
Okay, man.
But that would have been funny.
Let's grade today's show. One thing that I do want to address Tree about, and Tree, can you come on for a second?
Oh, this is not gonna be good. This is
no,
bad.
It's just.
I don't think you should do this.
No,
I don't think you should do this.
Scared. Yeah. Every time you want to talk to me, it's just like.
I just have a
quick
comment.
Am I getting fussed at?
I just have a comment.
Go ahead. I can take it. I'm not scared of you. Go ahead.
Whered you get that Barry Manilow music at the beginning of the show that was playing before we came on? Is it this whole licensing thing
that's what we can afford right now? I mean, the more people subscribe, because this is the last time we're going to be on Facebook with this.
Oh, that's true.
We'll be in YouTube.
Okay, right. So that brings up another thing. So we got to talk about this music because a staple of the show back in the day was play the hottest tracks.
Dope music.
And it's a licensing issue, and these people want their money if you play their music. I get it. But we gotta figure this out. We cannot go with that Barry Manilow, Freddie Jackson medley that you were playing when
Jackson.
She put on Cab Calloway up in this piece.
I have to go with until you all get a budget.
Right. And I was about to say, man, the budget
$3.99.
The budget's tight right now, player. So yeah, we can get to the music later on.
I want to know why we didn't show the Jermaine. You were talking about your clothes being off. Jermaine had gone shopping for his outfit.
Okay,
you're not gonna share that with the audience.
Given that the initial statement that I made about we're big fans of Jermaine Dupri, what's going on, man? When are these cats? What are they gonna? When are they going? How far are they gonna take this? What was it? What was it that Prince and that generation of singers from Minnesota? Androgyny. Wait, when is this androgynous phase gonna come to an end, man? Because I'm seeing more and more cats wearing dresses or kilts. It's a kilt in Scotland here. It's a goddamn dress.
They're wearing dresses, man.
Even what Usher had on a blouse type.
Well,
something at the beginning.
Like Prince. I think Usher can get away with it because of who he is. Like Prince.
Well, and that's funny you say that because I had the same debate with a younger person.
And Prince is my favorite, okay?
Right. A younger person on the Two Live Stews Facebook group, and you're listening to the Two Live Stews, watching the Two Live Stews. He was like, man, I don't want to hear nothing about how these guys dress. Y'all were big fans of Prince, and this dude wore ruffles and high heel sandals and this, that, and the other. I'm like, but
it
Prince,
wasn't a dress. It wasn't a dress.
Prince was different. He was unique. He was different.
Right.
He is not in the class or the category with none of these other bums. Prince was different.
Yep.
And everybody couldn't get away with that.
Nope.
Anybody else that tried to dress like Prince, we clowned them to death.
Yeah.
That's it. Prince was different.
He was different, man. He was given a pass. The hood gave him a pass.
The hood gave him a pass. But what's up with what was that last night? What did Jermaine Dupri? I mean, he had on little girl sandals, ruffled socks.
Hey, man, I wore that same suit to church when it was Easter Sunday when I was 4 years old. The exact same suit, but it was white. His was black, mine was white. The shorts and all. But we had those patent leather white shoes, not the sandals like in Morgan's room right now, man. But I had that exact same outfit 46 years ago for Easter.
Hey, man, listen, I just thought about something just now, man. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not
good, man. Don't. Good, man. Good for you, Doug. Good for you, man.
I was gonna say, you know what?
No, you're not gonna say it.
Say it.
I was gonna say, we could probably get some a ratings boom if at the end of the show you stood up with your bare ass and walked your room. I mean, it's about numbers, okay? And nobody want to see your black ass, but it would be shocking, and that's what these guys are doing. It'll be the equivalent to our Cat Williams interview. Like we get 50 million views if you stand up right now and turn around and walk out and your ass is showing.
But last week he didn't want to talk about shrinkage.
Right.
But now
you want me to
you want to exploit your brother, your twin.
You want me to hang me?
Hey, do y'all want to get these ratings or what? Do y'all want to get this money or what?
How bad you want it, nigga?
If you was down for the team, man, you would just turn around.
Hey, man. And
you know what? I don't want to put you in a spot. You probably ain't lotion or nothing like that, man. You probably ash-y.
Listen, man. I'm gonna get to this in a second, man. But if I wasn't Morgan's daddy, I would stand up straight right now, wouldn't turn around and just face the camera. But I'm Morgan's daddy, man.
Okay, all right.
I'm Morgan's daddy, man. And
right.
and that little girl changed my life, man. We'll talk about it some other time. But that little girl, I'm better because of that little girl, man.
Hey, and listen, we've been on way too long. I gotta get the hell out of here. What time
I'm not
is
gonna be doing this every night.
What time?
I guarantee you that.
Okay, well, it's not that much. An hour and a half. It's been an hour and a half. We started at 7:30.
I don't think
we started at 7:45, 8:45. No, yeah, about an hour and a half. One interesting thing, man, shouts out to Southern Edge, is Morgan's only how old?
She's 8.
Morgan's only 8. So when we were still on air, Morgan wasn't even around.
Nope.
I got the greatest niece ever, or Morgan. She's like the bomb.
She's great, man.
Yeah, when we were doing the show, like Miles and Mason, your sons were already here. My kids damn near grown. You know, I got a 30-year-old child.
Big L said daughters make you a better man for sure. That's the truth, man.
Yeah.
She changed my life, man.
So Morgan don't even understand the complexity of what we're doing right now and what this meant to her upbringing and her being able to eat and live well. Huh?
She doesn't really know who her father is.
You talking about what you used to call yourself back in the day?
The Leon Phelps of Sports Talk Radio, man.
The Leon Phelps
she has no idea. They have no idea, man.
So they just think you just clean, wholesome American dad in the country.
Washing dishes, vacuuming floors, smoking meat, turning meat. Down sheets.
Right.
You know, yeah, man. Yeah, they don't know the guy that was in them streets. The guy that would pick somebody up at the airport at 5, take them back at 8, drive from the South Terminal to the North Terminal and pick up somebody else for a few hours. They don't know about that guy, man.
If Shay can do this is from Lamont Hart. Shouts out to Lamont. I played golf with Lamont one time a couple years ago.
One time for you, Lamont.
He says, if Shay can do 2.5 hours, you ninjas can get in 2 hours. Man, Shay ain't punching no clock in about 7 hours.
Oh, God.
I tell you what, y'all get enough people to watch this show, listen to this show.
Okay.
You know, we could talk about doing a longer one.
Check out Andre, Doug. Two Live Stews 3.0 Nightcap Edition 2. Yes, there is an After Dark show coming to this network that we have called Stewart Media and Entertainment. Uncle in his robe. You remember Uncle Donnie the Robe story, Doug?
Oh, yeah. Hey, speaking of which.
You don't know that one.
I don't think we're going to talk about this in the book, but the book is going to happen.
Yes.
And I know y'all like, man, these ninjas been saying this for a while. No, I'm serious. The book is going to happen. We just got to carve out some time to make it done right, to get it done the right way.
Yeah. And the stews don't believe in snitching unless we write in the tell-all book.
Oh, we got a story to tell. You remember that song Biggie had? Oh, we got a story to tell.
Yep.
We got a story to tell. Sir, shouts out to Southern Edge.
Yes, sir.
Shouts out to all of the listeners, the dogs, the poodles. Here's the important thing.
The lovely Tree Taylor, executive producer of the Two Live Stews Experience.
Shouts out to Tree, the executive producer for the Stews. This is very, very important.
Okay.
We're not going to do this all the time. All right? This kind of like, you watch The Wire, right?
Unless y'all paying. If y'all paying, you get out.
You remember The Wire, right?
It's my favorite series, man. It's my top 3 series in my book.
So you remember how they used to get a new package and they used to give out some free ones?
Right.
So that the fiends would keep coming back? So basically, we got a new package.
No, stop it. Stop.
No, I'm serious. Don't stop me. We got a new package.
You can't refer to our patrons as fiends, man.
No, I'm just making a point. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to nail home a point.
Okay.
The point is, imagine the new package on The Wire being this new show.
Yep.
We giving you a little bit free, okay? But to get another hit, you're going to have to go to the other network on YouTube. That's the crack that you buy. I mean that's the show that you watch, okay? We're not going to do it on Facebook Live all the time. It's primarily going to be on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel and everything set up. Go to YouTube and search Stewart Media and Entertainment, Two Live Stews, and it should pop up. Hit the follow, and that's where we're predominantly going to do the show at.
One time to my guy RC that just said, will the Paul Mooney interview story be in the book?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Everybody asks that question. Everybody wants to know, how did we handle the Paul Mooney situation? How was it when Paul came to studio? Yes, we're going to talk about that in detail in the book. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney.
All right, you ready? You ready to get the hell out of here? I'm done.
Also, man, huge shout out to.
I gave my heart and soul these last 2 hours, man, because I'm so damn tired. I'm serious, man.
Me too, man. Shouts out to Hollywood, Ollie Michelle, a new reporter that we'll be using from time to time. We're gonna bring a bunch of experts to you guys. We're gonna do things a whole lot different. Shouts out to the good folks at Southern Edge because we're going to be doing some live remotes, some live podcasts. We're going to record and invite a few people to come and hang out and do a tasting of Southern Edge while we're doing the show or before the show or after the show. So we got a lot of real cool things coming out, guys. A lot of real cool things.
The main thing is you're getting unbridled Two Live Stews.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So I think Tree really wants me to stand up, man.
I hope you didn't slip your pants off. I hope you didn't slip your pants off.
Do it.
No, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that, man. I don't want to see that. I was just joking, man.
All right. Well, listen, maybe one day in the future, man.
You remember we were talking about doing some publicity stunts, and Mike Tyson was in town, and we were choosing straws of who's gonna go down there and slap him. we were trying to decide who would go down there and talk shit to Mike Tyson and slap him.
This was
because we felt like that if we slapped Mike Tyson, then the whole world would be talking about it.
Or if he slapped us. If there was some kind of confrontation with Iron Mike, it's going to be publicized. The world's going to see it. The world's going to know who we are. The world's going to check us out.
Hey,
but listen, when it was time to do them straws, Cass was like scared. If you get the short straw, I got to deal with Mike Tyson. Oh, that's funny, man.
Hey, man, Brian Greenberg said, take a knee to the dean.
Oh, man.
When the last time you talked to Bo Bach?
It's been a year and a half or so, man. I used to check with him. I used to check with him every other month or so. Just say, hey, Bo, I'm gonna call him tomorrow, man. As a matter of fact, Brian, I appreciate that. I'll get back to you in the next show about how Bo was doing. I'm gonna give him a call, Doug.
So Bo Bach was the OG of Sports Talk Radio when we were on terrestrial radio, and he was one of the coolest cats ever. Bo's definitely still around, right?
I hadn't heard he wasn't.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Slap Jason Whitlock and make us all happy. That's too easy. That's too damn easy. That's part of the book too. That's part of the book too.
And now that I'm thinking about it, man,
our first encounter with Jason Whitlock at the Super Bowl, and were we in Detroit? Seems like I want to say Detroit.
And now that you mentioned it, man, mentioning the great Bo Bach, I'm certain he's probably still around because we would have heard it if he wasn't. But even if he is around, he probably didn't know exactly where he is. He was an older cat, man. It was old 12 years ago when we were working, man.
Man, Bo got to be in his 90s.
I guarantee you.
But he was the illest.
If I go in the room with Bo Bach right now, he'll be like, hey, who the hell are you?
A bunch of listeners say we should bring back Yao Ming. We should bring back Brother Babe.
And we're talking about all of it.
Source Brothers. We're going to get all of that, all that going. Yeah, we got a lot planned, man. We got a lot planned.
Yeah. All right, man, wrap this thing up, man. And man, we got to thank God every minute of every day. We appreciate y'all for your time and your efforts. We appreciate you for your communication in the chat room and everything else, man. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all again real soon.
Peace.